Or crimes that still haunt to this day. There are crimes that shock the world for a moment, and then there are crimes that never stop echoing through time. Crimes so strange, so unbelievable, that even investigators who worked on them admit they still think about them years later. Today, we dive into four real cases, all officially documented, all investigated by law enforcement, and all surrounded by a cloud of mystery that refuses to disappear. These are not myths, not rumors, not urban legends. These are real events that happened, and the truth behind them is often more disturbing than fiction. Our first story takes us to Kansas, 1981, the case of Cindy James, a trained nurse who reported more than 100 incidents of harassment. Police confirmed many of them. Her phone lines were cut multiple times, she was found with injuries, and the house showed signs of forced entry. But what terrified investigators the most was that some attacks occurred while she was under police surveillance. In 1989, her body was found in an empty lot, tied up with traces of morphine in her system. The coroner labeled the case as undetermined, not suicide, not homicide. To this day, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police cannot explain how she tied herself in the manner she was found, or who could have been stalking her for nearly a decade. A crime with no clear suspect, no clear motive, and no clear ending. Next, we move to Japan, to one of the most chilling and well-documented crimes in modern history, the 1985 Glico Morinaga case. It began when the CEO of a major candy company, Katsuhisa Izaki, was kidnapped by a masked group but managed to escape. What followed was a year-long campaign of terror. The group called themselves the Monster with 21 Faces, sending dozens of threatening letters to police and major newspapers. They poisoned candy with cyanide and placed it in supermarkets. They taunted police by name. They even filmed themselves placing products on shelves. Despite one of the largest investigations in Japanese history, more than 100,000 officers involved, millions of dollars spent, and public warnings issued nationwide, the group simply vanished in 1985. No arrests were ever made. The evidence was real, the threats were real, and the crimes were confirmed by authorities. But the identity of the monster with 21 faces remains one of the country's most haunting, unsolved cases. Our third case is officially one of the strangest plane-related crimes ever recorded: the disappearance of Frederick Valentich in 1978. Valentich was a 20-year-old Australian pilot flying a small Cessna aircraft over the Bass Strait. During his flight, he radioed Melbourne Air Traffic Control describing a large, unidentified craft hovering above him. His last transmission was calmly recorded and verified by aviation authorities. He said, "It is hovering, and it is not an aircraft." His plane vanished minutes later. No wreckage was found, no remains, and no radar trace that could explain what he saw. The Australian Department of Transport confirmed the authenticity of his communications, but the cause of the disappearance remains open. Official investigation lists it as missing aircraft, but the circumstances surrounding his final words keep the case one of the most debated aviation mysteries in history. For the final crime, we visit Paris, 2016, the brutal murder of neuroscientist Sarah Halimi. This case is not mysterious because of evidence, but because of the legal outcome that shocked the entire nation. Halimi was attacked and thrown off her balcony by a neighbor who admitted to the killing. Multiple witnesses heard him yelling extremist slogans. Police confirmed the attack, and the autopsy documented the cause of death. Yet the French Court of Cassation ruled that the suspect could not be held criminally responsible because he had consumed cannabis before the attack and was considered temporarily psychotic. The case, fully documented and confirmed, caused massive outrage in France, with government officials and international organizations calling it one of the most disturbing legal decisions in decades. A crime that was real, witnessed, investigated, and proven, yet ended with no trial and no punishment. 4 crimes, 4 investigations, 4 different countries, yet one thing connects them. They all reveal how fragile the truth can be, how justice can slip through our fingers, and how the human mind fights to understand what sometimes cannot be understood. These cases remain open wounds in the public memory, not because they are unsolved, but because their explanations, even when documented, leave us with more questions than answers. What really happened to Cindy James during those 9 years of terror? Who was behind the monster with 21 faces? A group that outsmarted an entire nation's police force. What did Frederick Valentich see in the sky that night before disappearing forever? And how can a confirmed and admitted murder end without a trial? These cases remind us that reality is often stranger, darker, and more complex than fiction will ever be. And sometimes the scariest crimes are not the ones that hide in the shadows, but the ones that unfold in front of everyone, documented, investigated, and yet still impossible to fully understand. Follow HY Facts 007 for more rare and credible facts, and let me know which case you want a full deep dive into next.